Hi, Sadia. I'm so excited to have you here.
My pleasure. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, I am. We are sharing book recommendations for kids, and who better than you? Because like I've told you a million times, I look up to you, and I can't wait to hear what you would like to recommend to the kids.
Well, these days, my space is middle grade novels for children because that's what I write. So, definitely check out some of my books that are going to be coming out this year. But I also have a couple of I love recommending South Asian authors because that's something that I feel we just have so much rich history and tradition and culture that we can include in our books, even though they're also just books about regular life in America. A few recommendations I have. There's Amina's Voice, which is by a very awesome Pakistani American author, Hina Khan. She's written a lot of books, but that's kind of like her middle grade sweet book that my daughter personally loves. When my daughter read that book, she kept saying, "This girl is just like me. This girl is just like me," and I love that because we can bring that to our kids, and that's just my goal. There's also a really good fantasy kind of series. It has different names, but it's a Kiran Mala series by Sayantani Das Gupta. She's amazing. It's about this Bengali kind of mythology and a lot of fighting and amazing strong female character. And then another one that it's a bit older, but I love it. It's a graphic novel, Pashmina, which a lot of people have heard about. I understand there's going to be maybe animation soon of that as well. That's by Nidhi Chanani, who is a good friend of mine. So again, like I said, I really love talking about South Asian American books because they're just so close to my heart.
Yeah, it's so important to have those point of views out there because life changes even with the smallest perspective, and every single human being on the planet has a perspective.
I agree, and we need to provide our young readers with all kinds of perspectives because that's how we are in this world. We don't want to only see the world through one little window. That's our window.
Right. I call it the bubble. We all are in our own bubbles, and we need to expand them. And the books are the most beautiful way to do that because we use our imagination when we are reading it, and we can place ourselves in the main character's shoes, and it's fun to do that. So another thing I wanted to ask you is, what is one trick or writing tip that you would like to give our young writers who are thinking of becoming writers, or who are trying to write essays right now, just during these times?
When people ask me about tips for young writers or aspiring writers, my tip is actually not related to writing. I tell people that you have to read a lot. And I know it sounds like, oh my God, that's so boring. But it's really not. You can't believe how many kids and even adults who want to write I meet who don't like reading. And I don't understand that because that really, you have to read a lot, a lot, a lot, a lot. Especially the kind of thing that you want to write. So if you're wanting to write essays, then read a lot of essay collection, read a lot of essays. I write children's books, and you won't believe it. Like my reading file is all children's books. Sometimes if I'm working on a picture book, it's all picture books. Reading really helps us see how to do that best because we see a person who's successfully published and we say, okay, this is a good way of writing this. And then just try it on your own. But if you're not reading, a ton of books or material, it's hard to be a good writer.
That makes a lot of sense. Coincidentally, you just brought me back to the fact that I like reading fiction. Since my childhood, I have read fiction. I dreamt of being a writer since I was 9, but I only read fiction. My first book, however, was non-fiction because I had been writing blogs and I wanted to, compile my best ones and, present them to the people. And I was like, wait a second, I need to start reading non-fiction. So for 2 years, while I was writing my book, I went through n number of non-fictions, and now my library is full of non-fiction books, which is incredible to me. And I love reading non-fiction now. It just changed my perspective to the way I would see things, to the way a story was told. and it's really important that. And I think another thing to bring home is that you can become a reader with time too. I think a lot of people say, oh, I just don't enjoy reading. But I say WhatsApp reading is reading. Facebook reading is reading. You are reading constantly. You just need to find the right book that creates a love for reading for you.
I agree with that, and especially when I talk to kids, I do a lot of school visits before, when the school was in session, and I was really struck by so many kids, especially when they get into middle school, where they just stop reading, and a lot of time, or they've just never gotten the habit, they don't love it, it's not something that really pulls them in. And I always tell the kids, it's not that reading is bad or boring, it's just that you haven't found the right book for you. There's always a book that's right for every person, that's gonna just make them feel excited and drawn in. And a lot of times also that is having books with diverse characters, like we talk about South Asian or whatever group that you are in. Sometimes you just don't find yourself relating to the books because they're so different from your experience. So if you're not into reading, it's probably because you haven't found the right book. But guess what? You have to be reading to find the right book. It's not going to come and hit you on the head with it. You have to. I actually have a rule with both my kids. Especially one of my kids who it takes time for him to get into reading. I say you have to read one chapter, and I don't care if you don't like it. And I have the same rule for me. If after 1 or 2 chapters you still don't like it, then feel free to stop. But don't look at the cover or read one page and say, sometimes it takes a while for a book to get interesting.
Yes, and I think it is important also for parents. This is something that I hear a lot, and I really want to, since we're talking about it, I think it's important to talk about this, that parents feel the need to introduce Harry Potter or the big books to their kids early in life. And I say that every child has a maturity level, and not necessarily your child has to love fiction. They could be non-fiction readers. They could like reading joke books. They could like reading, just fantasy books, comic books. All reading is reading. You don't have to, your kid doesn't have to be reading Harry Potter or, Gita for them to be called readers. Every child who reads any book is a reader. So make sure that, you just indulge your child's interest and find the book that speaks to your child's personality rather than, trying to introduce them to higher and higher grade levels. Let them enjoy the experience of reading more than anything else.
Totally. I totally agree with that. I mean, especially now graphic novels are making a huge, entry. So many readers who were reluctant readers are really finding interest in graphic novels, which is really good.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Sadia. This was so exciting. We can talk endlessly, but that's why I'm excited to have you on our podcast soon, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love talking about books. I mean, I can go on forever.
Well, thank you everyone watching, and I hope you got some good content out of this. We'll see you soon on our podcast that's coming up in hopefully June.